Okay guys, we're here on Highway and it's November 28th, 2012, and this is a very memorable battle in my T50-2, which was taken out of the game long ago, late July of 2013. Hard to believe. So this battle is 5.5 years ago, but I had a look at it, and scouting is largely the same. I worked out how to drive my light tanks, my scout tanks, which is basically all I've ever played in the game, at a very early date. The tactical understanding of how to win battles developed more slowly. Another thing about this battle is I distinctly remember the sensation of novelty. This map, Highway, had just been introduced, and there was a strangeness, a newness, a sense of venturing into the unknown and of danger. And World of Tanks, by failing to introduce a significant number of new maps over the years and taking out some fantastic ones, they have robbed us of that sensation. And who knows where this game would be if they had consistently introduced new and interesting maps and devoted the resources to that aspect of the game that they do to introducing a plethora of premium tanks, a lot of which are basically the same as the last premium tank. It's a shame that they didn't do what I recommend here and brought in a bunch of new maps. It's a thing that cannot now be remedied. And like I said, scouting is largely the same, and the importance of platooning with Artie, I always talk about that in my videos. Anyways, I'm going to hit the space bar. I have to run this at minimum graphics, otherwise I don't get a proper frame rate. Maybe with really high-end hardware I could get a better frame rate, but I don't possess that at the moment. So here we go, and I'm just going to pull back and see I'm averaging around 30 FPS here, which is just tolerable. So like I said, the sensation of novelty has completely evaporated because we've all been on these maps so many times, right? And it's a neat thing to be experiencing that and to having to grapple with the unforeseen and the unknown dangers. That's part of the intellectual stimulation and challenge, right? And if you don't introduce new maps, we don't get to experience that. Wargaming. Are you listening? So I'm just going to turn the volume up here a bit. There we are. So the moves I make are, I do the start the turn before the lights appear and try to light them up as you're heading away from them, not heading towards them, right? And that's one of the functions of a reverse slope. There's a bit of replay surge here. These old replays sometimes speed up and slow down. And the Jag Panther 2 over there is mad at me, and he says something mean to me. I was talking about tactics a minute ago, how my understanding developed more slowly. The thing is, people who complain about Artie, if they would get their tactical act together and move quickly, right, form battle groups, try to adopt a decent, fast-moving tactical formation, they wouldn't be as mad about the presence of Artie, because Artie works during the long game, right? A fast-moving game that's quickly. I was just hit there by the M46, no damage. And no critical damage either. A fast-moving game doesn't allow the Artie to develop their full potential, right? Okay, here's another trick of the trade, right? I'm staying away as being a firefighter is trying to stay far away from that M103 as possible and get on this side of the reverse slope, right? Now, since I've played, over 10,000 games in the Dash 2 / MT25 and also the A20, there's no doubt that this is sort of like an A20. Very similar. Same top speed. The hull traverse is almost the same. This is after the physics patch, so you do drift, although apparently not so much in this. The MT was terrible for drifting, but it looks like the Dash 2 is not so bad here. And you know, this is a typical pub without the tactical urgency that I was talking about. I know pub battles are like that, but when they're like that and you don't talk to your teammates and try to do something coordinated and coherent, you basically have only yourself to blame for that. And whining about Artie is not very constructive, right? You're not dealing with the fundamental problem, which is bad tactics. And we're prey to that here too, because we've got an E75 and a almost dead TD there, and this is a pub scatter. Very difficult to achieve a coordinated attack when you lack sufficient strength, right? So like many public matches, tactics are out the window, and it's individual gameplay. And the reverse slopes and the terrain features here are almost the same today on Highway, which has recently been removed. I sure hope they bring it back. Now, the Bat Chat is making a move here, and I'm going to join him. See, we're taking an indirect approach here. I just hurt my tracks there. So he's headed to help the E75, which is, I think, the proper move at this stage of the battle, and it works out nicely. But then he disengages. I did a previous video about autoloaders not driving around in the vicinity of the enemy while they're reloading, right? That's wrong. You should appear to the enemy, drive at full speed, maneuver, and worry them. There's a mistake. Crashed into something. And again, I cannot emphasize strongly enough the sensation of novelty in those days that is just gone now. And it's not our fault that, like I said, we're deprived of the sensation. So, like I said, the Bat Chat drives away, which, I hate that. He could do stuff to... Look at him just driving off, abandoning the E75. Completely wrong. And there's the T110E5 all by himself. The mouse is elsewhere. And in my opinion, the Bat should have stuck around, and we could have the moment the T110E fired, right, he could have gone in there. Now, the reason I'm hesitating is that I should explain something. GW Panthers, I had a lot of bad experiences in my Dash 2, being virtually wiped out by GW Panthers. In the T50, which was 12 kilometers an hour, top speed was slower, far more maneuverable, right? It could do dipsy doodling, as I call it, far better than the Dash 2, and on many occasions I had wipeouts from GW Panthers. So that's if I go after and try to circle that guy and help the E75, I could get hit by Artie, right? So I've got a E75, helpless there with tier 10 and 2 GW Panthers backing up. I got to completely disengage. And this is a standard scouting thing. When you're running away from somebody, right? The further away you get, the worse their shooting is going to be. And if you do it right, they might not see you as they're chasing you, right? He should have stuck with the Arties, but he came out into the open and he attacked. I don't understand that. And that thing is really moving fast downhill. And that's pretty impressive for that thing, but he was probably going around, 48 or 49 there. And once again, the Bat is actually, that's okay. I won't complain about that, obviously. And here's another thing. Unfortunately, WattReplays.com will not parse old files. I don't know what the cutoff date is, but it looks like anything older than early 2014. Like I'd have to check one by one to find out the date, but I cannot find out the spotting damage that I got in this game. It's probably at least 7,000, but I don't know. I know it was a lot, and I know this is a good performance by the Dash 2. Anyways, we just have to go get those GW Panthers. I don't know why I'm firing my gun here. Could have been mad about something. So watch this GW Panther hit me here. Admittedly at close range, right? He had pre-aimed, and the GW, or excuse me, the Bat Chat takes him out. So it's game over. And in summary, scouting hasn't changed, pubs haven't changed, tactics haven't changed much. What has changed is the proliferation of vehicles, and it would be nice if Wargaming saw fit to completely revamp their approach to alluring good players into the game, back into the game, and trying to attract, a larger player base in North America, which it is, currently lacking. I would say sadly lacking, and it's bad for the future of the game. Anyways, it's game over, and I hope you enjoyed the video.